I'm back. Good afternoon. It's Pastor Marty from the Afternoon Drive, back from vacation. I'll say more about that in the next couple of days, but we've got to jump right into it. Another big win for Donald Trump. And you know how you know it's a big win? Not because of the way the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media tries to frame it by saying, once again, Donald Trump bragging that he did something incredible when actually he did nothing. It is just total fake news crapola trying to spin a victory into a defeat or a nothing. The fact that they're doing that lets you know that Trump had a big win. I'm talking about how over the weekend, the New York Times and now other media outlets following their lead, well, this so-called big win that Donald Trump is claiming with Mexico, helping us with the so-called border crisis, it had actually been worked out weeks ago. Donald Trump created a fake crisis and then showed himself as being the winner of the crisis. The fact that they're trying to spin it that way tells you all that you need to know. And the fact that Nancy Botox Pelosi had to make a statement saying that threats and temper tantrums are no way to negotiate foreign policy. And let's see, how exactly has Nancy Botox Pelosi, Chuck E. Cheese Schumer, and the rest of that ilk on Capitol Hill, along with the ineffective rhinos, along with the worst administration since Jimmy Carter, one Barackmas Obamamus. And by the way, Jimmy Carter was an inept dope as the president, and you have to work really hard to do worse than Carter. And the fact that Barack Obama was able to pull that off, way to go, Joe from Idaho Biden. Yes, please, take us back to the Obama years. You know, soaring unemployment, no money to be had, no lending going on. Yeah, take us back to that. Please, take us back to that. Not. The negotiation skills of the Democrats, are you kidding me, was to get out a checkbook and basically give all of the American enemies money. Give money to Iran and they won't make nuclear weapons. Give money to North Korea and they won't threaten to launch a missile. That's their whole foreign policy. But Nancy Pelosi knows who the real criminals are. She knows where the real threats in the world are. And now it's Facebook. She made a statement in the past 24 hours that it's obvious that Facebook, and not pulling down the doctored video of her, shows that they were also complicit and enabled Russian bots to steal the election from Hillary Clinton. Now, I don't know if Nancy actually believes this stuff that she's spewing, or she's completely delusional, that she's the bat crap crazy that we all think her to be, or she really is thus incredibly stupid that this is what she thinks. She really believes that this so-called doctored video of her simply proves that Facebook was allowing the Russians to steal the election. I wonder if Facebook realizes that they are in the crosshairs now of the liberal progressive wingnuts, and Facebook, you're about to go bye 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 bye. You're about to be regulated, and it won't be at the hands of the evil Republicans. It's going to be at the hands of the liberal Democrats. You know, the people that have spewed since the 1960s, you know, down with the establishment, make love, not war, free speech, man, free speech. And yet, who is it that is driving Silicon Valley to eliminate free speech on social media platforms like Facebook, like Twitter, like right here on YouTube? Who is it that's driving that? Oh, the liberals are. See, they're for free speech as long as it's their free speech and as long as it's ideas that they agree with, that they espouse, that they promote, then it's perfectly okay. But if it's anything they disagree with, you got to be demonetized. You got to be removed from the platform. Oh, and we have to let cispots like Mr. Vox. I can't help it, I was born this way, and Stephen Crowder's making fun of me, and other the Republicans and the conservatives online are making fun of me. Why are they doing that? They're doing it because I did not choose the lifestyle. The lifestyle chose me. No, we're doing it because you're a lunatic, and you drool on yourself, and you're fun to make fun of. Mr. Meza, however it is you pronounce your name, couldn't really care less. The fact that the media is in full-blown meltdown over Trump getting a win, where now the Mexican government has got to place their National Guard throughout the entirety of their country, and that those trekking through Mexico who want asylum in the United States, they got to stay in Mexico until they get their asylum hearing. Otherwise, Trump was going to hit him with tariffs. That's a threat. That's a temper tantrum, according to Nancy Pelosi. No, that's leadership. I said to someone today, what a lot of the younger generation is having trouble with Donald Trump, he's an M-A-N. He's not a male. He's a man. This is like, it's like having John Wayne as our president. It's really kind of incredible, actually. The resurgence of, dare I say it, the toxic male, who means what he says what he means, and follows through on it. See, this is what men do. This is what leaders do. Nancy Botox Pelosi, she likes to placate. She likes to sound to the far progressive wingnuts of her party that she's on board with them. She likes to patronize them, but at the end of the day, Nancy Pelosi's about Nancy, about the accumulation of her wealth at the government's expense, and power. And that's what all the establishment politicians are about, their own personal power and well-being. Donald Trump is a leader, decisive. It's another big win. And may I say this in all respect to our president, it's huge. It's huge. Really, no, it's huge. And it is. It's huge. The tariff threat worked. Number two, you haven't seen Mexico refuting or saying, well, we had this worked out with President Trump weeks ago. I don't know why he was threatening tariffs.
Well, the New York Times said he did, so it must be true. Because after all, the media wouldn't lie, would they?
Well, let's see. The media that has said once Donald Trump was elected and sworn into office that all of the rules pertaining to how they report on presidents and politics went out the window because it's get Trump out at all costs. Would they lie? Why, they're the bastions and protectors of freedom of the press, you know. Bullhawk. They are propaganda, period. They don't want this president. They want him out. And so what do? Every wingnut that the Democrats roll out as a possible candidate, they're on board with. Yang, Kamala, not a hottie Harris, Beto O'Rourke, the Hispanic Irishman. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And all of these people are completely unqualified. And all they want to do is placate and patronize. And now look at all the hogwash and problems Joe Biden has again created for himself. I'll do that in a separate follow-up video. But Donald Trump has a big win, and the way you know it's a big win is watching the media try to discredit it. See, if it was a true failure or collapse on Donald Trump's part, they would say nothing. See, when your enemy is on fire, Do you try to put the fire out?
No.
When your enemy has just made a complete jackass out of himself, do you try to stop him?
No.
When your enemy is even bragging about how great he is, and yet it's obvious he's standing there looking like a buffoon, do you stop him?
No.
But when your enemy has hit a monster home run, is taking his victory lap, what do? You discount it, you discredit it, you disparage it, you try to detour people's attention to something else. Donald Trump had a big win on the Mexican border crisis. And more's coming. That wall is coming. Mark it down. And will Mexico pay for it? Through tariffs? Through the loss of revenue? Yeah, they will pay for it. Big time. Well, that's it. That's today's rant. Thank you so much for letting me have a couple of days of R&R. Appreciate that. Appreciate you watching this, supporting this channel. Continue to spread the word. Let's get our algorithms up. Let's get our subscriptions up. I couldn't do this without you. Hit the bell and get notification of my next rant.